In 1976, when then newlyweds Wayne and Laura Dahl drove up the lane of their recently purchased farm near Dawson, Minnesota, they were excited to take root as a farm family. Over the decades, the farm operation grew and evolved, especially in the area of pork production.
The way the farming has changed since the day I started, it's like night and day, both on the cropping end and on the livestock end. On the livestock end of things, when I first started farming, we did our breeding and gestating on dirt and eventually moved to partial slat. And then from partial slat, we went to total slatted operation with total confinement.
The Dahls family also grew and evolved while on the farm.
My husband and I farm together, and we have 5 grown-up children now, and we also have 4 grandchildren.
Our finishing barns are curtain-style barns, and so the ventilation on there works as you have 2 pit fans that are your #1 variable speed fans, and when it gets a little too warm for them, there's 2 more fans that kick on. Then there's 2 wall fans that kick on, and when it gets too warm for those wall fans, then our curtains go down. And then if the temperature still keeps rising, there's circulating fans on the ceilings that kick in. Beyond that, at 86 degrees right now, the sprinkler system comes on for the pigs. So the environment for the pigs is totally controlled, and the pig comfort is excellent. I get that question of, well, how are your pigs handling this heat? I guess my answer is just fine.
Although they've been farming for nearly 4 decades, the Dahls continuously try new techniques and technologies. In the nursery barn, water is treated with a hydrogen peroxide-based product that raises the blood oxygen levels of the pigs to help them fight disease challenges. They also use electrostatic particulate ionization to keep dust down in their barns.
And it's basically just an electrical charge that is driven through a line, and these little V's are called corona points. And what it does is it ionizes the air and takes over 50% of the dust particles out, along with some gases. Research has proven it's been very good for pig health. It's also very good for the workers in the barn also.
These multiple levels of automation and innovation, which also include water-saving devices, are supplemented by the personal care the Dahls give each pig. Manure from the pigs falls into 8-foot pits under each barn and is injected into no-till or minimum-till corn and soybean cropland in the fall. Manure management is another area in which Wayne Dahl has seen dramatic, positive changes over the years.
Now we utilize every bit of our manure, and we soil sample the entire farm and then also sample our manure. When we put our manure on, it's extremely efficient. Straight lines, no overlapping, whether you're going up a hill, down a hill, low ground, it's all applied evenly.
Hog production is a wonderful way of having a sustainable future. It's an easy way to have one, actually, because of the cycle of life. You have the manure from the pigs that goes into the crops, and then the crops are fed to the pigs, and it's just a continuous cycle.
The Dahls are also very involved in soil and water conservation, encouraging wildlife populations and protecting the Minnesota River watershed, all of which dovetail together.
Wildlife on this farm is one of our biggest sources of pride. My wife Laura just loves wildlife, so we've done a lot of different things on the farm to promote wildlife. One of them is the filter strips that you see along the drainage ditch. We have tons of bird houses. We planted a couple acres of native grass to promote birds and wildlife. We have just a ton of wildlife and a lot of great variety of birds. And my wife Laura is just fantastic at feeding birds.
Laura also maintains a bit of a petting zoo that attracts many area children. All the work with the pigs, crops, conservation efforts, and wildlife helps make the Dahl family sustainable both environmentally and economically.
It's important for Wayne and I to be good stewards of the land because we want to pass this on to future generations. We want them to inherit our love of animals and wildlife and the wide open spaces and nature. And we want them to experience all the wonderful things that we have by living on a farm. It will be a wonderful legacy if we can continue to keep this going for future generations.
Being a farmer, stewardship just comes right along with it. It's a responsibility. Laura and myself, we look at farming as a privilege. And with that privilege comes a responsibility of taking care of the land. When we die and when we pass away, we just don't want to be another name on that abstract. We want to leave a legacy behind.